Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am your humble host, Mr. David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. And the title of my video, this particular subject, and today is Saturday, I think the 7th or 8th of June, 2019. I greet you all with the love and the honor of the infinite creator, and I continue to pray for each and every one of you, your friends, your family, and all of your relations, that you will continue to accept and receive the gifts from the universe. With that said, I was listening just literally a few minutes ago to a live stream of these gentlemen who are bashing baby boomers. Now, I'm sorry, I'm a baby boomer. I was born in 1952. I'm 67 years old in September. And I look back and I'm listening to these guys and they're like, oh, the baby boomers, they're so uninformed. Oh, the baby boomers, they're the reason that this stuff happened. Oh, the baby boomers. Now, hang on a minute. Wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now, I know I'm a baby boomer and I look down back. Well, I say I don't look down. I look down as far as years are concerned. But I look at my past life and I look at some of the stupid things I did as a youngster. And I look at some of these folks now. And these guys are half my age talking about all of us baby boomers, how we feel, how we act, and how that somehow, because they're younger, they know what the hell's going on. So yappity yappity baby boomer, this baby boomer, that. And I'm like, you guys still don't have a clue. You haven't lived the amount of years that many of us have. Now, I'm going to be one of the first people to say, I have friends of mine who are baby boomer, blah, 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 easy for you to say. I have many of my friends who are baby boomers, and I got to say that sometimes I think that they're like 12 years old. They don't have a clue. But is it because that they're a baby boomer that they're an idiot, or that they're stupid, or that all baby boomers are now responsible for what the current conditions on this planet? Are you serious? Now, is it an age thing? Well, some of these people who started this stuff, they were around long before many of us were even born. Okay. But the idea that the younger folks, it's all our faults. We're the ones who are stupid. We're the ones that don't have a clue about what's going on this planet. When I try to talk to youngsters these days, yeah, okay, at being 67, I can say anybody younger than me, you're a youngster. And I mean that with respect, honestly. But for folks that are half my age to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, I've lived my life. I do videos. I talk about things that I've done and this and that and things that I've experienced and meeting people and all these types of things. I have 60 plus years of experience. To these, I've got twice as much experience as these guys who are ribbing me and all the other baby boomers. Oh, and I mean, they're doing it right now on a live stream. And I had to stop because I was like, you guys are beating me to death and I'm one of your supporters. I'm a baby boomer. I know people in the chat who are baby boomers, and these guys are just ripping baby boomers to death. It's all our fault. We don't have a clue. What? Is it just the baby boomers who don't have a clue? And I would say I got grandchildren that don't have a clue, and they're supposed to be the hip age. I've got, people of all different ages that they don't have a clue. I know people who are 25, 26 years old that know more than baby boomers do. But I know baby boomers who, at my age, who are just washed in a wealth of knowledge and wisdom. But do you think a young person would listen to us for any kind of advice? Listen, if you do that, that's probably going to end up stupid. Yeah, well, I really want to do it. Everybody else is doing it. And then when they get hurt or something, they say, well, you should have told me. Or they don't listen to us at all. They just write us off. But for people to just take baby boomers in general, and we're all a bunch of idiots, we don't know what's going on in this world. We don't know. This is what these guys were talking about. We don't know how to operate a computer. Listen, 35 years ago, I was doing computer work before these idiots were even born. So they're trying to tell us baby boomers that we're stupid, ignorant, and all this kind of stuff. What? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit on a tirade right now, but it would be like to say that for me that all millennials are idiots or that all this group is an idiot. But for these folks who have half the experience of the rest of us to go mamby-pamby this and that, I was writing code in BASIC before these guys were in diapers. But they're trying to tell me and us that all baby boomers are a bunch of idiots. We don't know about computers, cell phones, all this. We're just mindless. Now, I got to say that I know a lot of mindless baby boomers. I would agree with that. But it's not a particular subset of people. You got to understand it was us boomers who created the damn internet and computers. We're the ones that started programming. We're the ones that started doing these algorithms. I was creating little basic programs back in the day when Windows 3.1 came out. How much do these folks remember of those days? The Commodore 64, the Amiga. Come on, guys. And these people don't even have a clue. But all of us baby boomers are stupid, ignorant idiots, and we're the cause of the current situation on the planet. Many of us have been trying to warn you idiots, the rest of you guys that had come after us. Hey, listen, don't do what we did because it was stupid. You know, nope, they're doing it anyway and twice as much. And then they turn around and go, want to blame it on us. Now, I got to say that when I was growing up as a teenager and whatever, you older group, you people, you don't know what's going on. I was one of those people in the 60s. But for folks right now to blame everything on baby boomers, I got to just say, wait a minute, as a baby boomer, you all need to stop and just shut up about that. Because it's the baby boomers that put you here. Your parents are baby boomers, you idiot. You know, I'm like, what? So all baby boomers are stupid idiots and we don't know what's going on. Why don't we just say that there are a lot of people out there of many races, ethnicities, religious beliefs, of many different socioeconomic backgrounds who are not well informed. Why can't we say that? But these guys are trashing all baby boomers. And I'm sorry, not all baby boomers are stupid idiots. And that we're the reason, we're the cause of all current conditions. Now, as a subset group of people born in the late 40s and 50s who are alive right now, one could argue, yes, there are a lot of people born in our time zone, if you will, in our era, that have a lot to do with decision making and so forth. But people like me, who have been brainwashed for all of our lives, along with a lot of other people, in that our vote counted or that this and that, the realization that there are subsets of the government, there are parallel government agencies working on similar things. There's a lot of data and stuff out now about the NSA, who they run their own organization, but they hire a bunch of private contractors to do stuff because they don't want to have a paper trail within their own system. This goes on all the time. It goes on in industry. It goes on. I was hired by a company as an independent contractor because I could do things within the company as an independent contractor that a normal employee wouldn't get away with. And so, I had to follow rules, but I was still in this little gray zone. And I got a lot accomplished and I did a lot of good for the company. And then they sold us all out, went to Mexico. But to the point, though, of this, though, that all baby boomers are a bunch of idiots and we don't know what we're doing, that's just not right. That's taking a subset group and the fact that they, who claim to know, who are right now doing a live stream claiming that they understand what's going on this planet, have more information than I do at 66. Did they see JFK get assassinated? I watched Lee Harvey Oswald get shot on live TV that Sunday in Dallas. Now, how many of these, whatever age group they are, can claim that? Well, they've watched videos of it. I watched it live. Okay, there are so many things that I participated in because I'm this old. These guys don't have a clue. But at the same point, all baby boomers and yakka, I had to turn them off. And I don't usually give a thumbs down, but I'm going to send in a negative comment because this is just stupid. They're supposed to be aware individuals and having these radio broadcasts to bring people in and to make them aware. And they're talking trash to all baby boomers. There are many of us, because of our history, because of the knowledge that we have, because of the things we have seen, we are actively trying to work to fix this crap. As a hippie back in the 60s and 70s, I thought the world would be a better place by now. I never dreamed that it was going to be like this. Many of us who grew up in my era never dreamed it would turn out this way. That, our children and grandchildren would go off on these tangents and do these. We thought we were doing weird things. These kids these days, they've got the internet to get weird with and Snapchat and all these other kinds of things. We had to literally go out to a bar and buy somebody a drink to meet them. Now you can just hit this app and go into a bar and it'll go beep, 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 and you'll find the person that you're going to go out and do whatever with. But it's the baby boomers. And I mean, they went on a tirade about it, which is the reason I just decided to go live right now, because it kind of ticked me off. There are a lot of us my age and younger and some older who it's like, wait a minute, would you stop and at least pay attention? We may have a little bit of wisdom here, but you're just going to, no, we're all a bunch of idiots. We're stupid, don't know how to run computers. And I mean, they just went on and on about how stupid we are. Who do you think made the damn internet? People of my age group? Boomers? Oops. Who started programming? People in my age group. Cliff High, he's a boomer. Oh, but he did the cryptocurrency. Wait a minute, but what, isn't he a boomer? Well, yeah, but he's different. But so how can these people rip all the time about it's us, baby boomers, that are the problem? The problem is narrow-mindedness. These people who claim to, these youngsters in the thingy and they got a voice. I'm stressing my voice on this. All baby boomers aren't a bunch of idiots. I know somebody that's about 35 years old. He is extremely knowledgeable in wisdom of the spirit and is extremely knowledgeable in many other things. And I'm sorry, people twice his age don't have a clue about. But to just say that all baby boomers, and I mean, they may still be going on about it. I don't know. But I go on and on sometimes about the younger generation, that they should stop and listen. Well, as a youngster in my younger generation, I should have listened to my elders. So now I say, well, let me give you a little bit of 10 cents here. Let me give you my opinion, please. But these guys are just ragging on and see, and I'm repeating myself, and I'm going on and on about them ragging on me. It just, what is, we should all be worried about is the narrow-mindedness of people. And the people who are trying to tell people don't be narrow-minded are themselves, right this minute, on a live stream, being narrow-minded, because it's all the baby boomers' fault. So for these people who want to speak truth and justice, they want to speak, we all need to get together. You're leaving out your parents and grandparents, you dumbass. You're leaving out the people who did begin this, who helped to create what you're living in now. But it's all our faults. Yes, we've made mistakes. But you youngins out there in half my age, and you're trying to tell me that every one of us is stupid and doesn't know how to run a computer? Now, I'm sorry, even grandma's got a cell phone. Well, I'm a great grandfather. I have a great granddaughter. So people say, well, you don't know what you're doing. Well, listen, man, I was an engineer. I worked 3D AutoCAD for years, taught it to people. But because I'm a boomer, I'm an idiot. Because now that I'm retired and not in the workforce, that somehow I now don't have a value. Somehow now I'm an idiot. I fumble with my fingers. I don't know how to do the live stream. Some of this is confusing, but that's because I had a head injury, not because I'm a boomer. So the people who are trying to praise openness and hey, let's all get together on this are also at the same time out the corner of their mouth talking about a section of the population they don't have a flipping clue. And just saying, well, there are a lot of baby boomers. No, I say there are, in my opinion, there are a lot of youngsters who don't have a clue. Am I including all young people? No. These people have already grouped all of us. They put us in a box, and you know how I feel about boxes. These folks have already put us baby boomers in a box. All these boomers, all these baby boomers, all blah, blah. Well, then can I say all of you frickin' idiots that aren't baby boomers? The rest of you are a bunch of idiots. You don't know what's going on. We got to stop with this boxing people in stuff. Some baby boomers are idiots. I agree with you. But are all baby boomers idiots and stupid and don't know how to run computers? We're the ones that made the damn things. We're the ones that instigated this. I helped write programs way back in the day before these people were even born. But they have a right to speak about us in this god-awful, it's not just a few of us, it's all of us. That's what pissed me off about this. That's why I'm on my little tirade here. It's not all of us. And I'm sorry, but I might have to just say bye, guys, and unsubscribe from their show. Because it's in trying to be aware, they have closed the door. All boomers are bad. Anybody born during, the end of World War II, anybody born in the Korean War. And they're trying to promote truth and honesty, but all boomers are bad. Yakety, 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 yak. With thousands of viewers every day. Yakety, yakety, yak. I'm trying to bring us all together. A lot of us are trying to bring us all together. I'm going to do a video at about 10 o'clock tonight about spirituality. And I can't remember the title right now because I'm ticked off about these guys in the boomer thingy. Hello, Melanie and Tim Stark. Remember the crew of the USS Liberty today. Cheers. Absolutely. And all of those that fell during D-Day and the following days. If you think D-Day was the worst day, there was still lots of stuff going on in World War II. But I digress. But see, do you think any of these guys would be talking about, well, you know what? There was some D-Day stuff and there was that. Nope. They gotta beat up us. I say us poor old baby boomers, but it's just wrong. It's wrong for me to want to group them in anything, but they set their own agenda. It's on tape, guys. Unless you erase the video, I can quote you on this, and you're yappity, yappity, yappity. I continue to pray and meditate, pray, discuss how we need to get together. It's not about age. Grandma might know some stuff that you really need to sit down and listen to. She might have some silly little story, but if you listen to it, it might make some sense to you. Oh, well, I don't know, we blah, 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 blah. June 8th, 1967. Excuse me. Got to stop for a drink. I was not planning on doing this video, but but the idea, though, we got to get together. That how can you bring people together if you're going to yap about a certain, they say, well, they wouldn't talk about the Negroes that way. They wouldn't talk about the Chinese that way. They wouldn't talk about the Mexicans that way. But it's all right for them to bad mouth and puncture and yappity yappity about all us baby boomers. It was a whole lot more people than, phone call. I don't know who this is. So, but anyway, sorry about that. Live in color from Southwest Georgia. But anyway, if baby boomers were a religious sect or if baby boomers were an ethnicity as black, green, yellow, blue, purple, whatever, if they wouldn't be able to get away with what they just did. But it's a whole section of people all across the whole freaking planet. But baby boomers are all stupid idiots and blah, 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 blah. Well, then that means that all Negroes are idiots and all Chinese people are all mathematicians and that all Mexicans are nothing more than migrant workers. And that, you know, and I'm not speaking, I'm saying that this is the general idea of what other people think. I'm trying to bring people together. Okay, so you don't like us boomers. I know boomers in their chat room. They weren't too happy about that. And if I unsubscribe from their channel, I'm going to send them a note and go, you don't, many of us who listen to your channel, you dumbass, are boomers. And you tear us down like we were the scum of the earth, like we are the cabal. I've been fighting this for all of my life. Against this. Yeah, I knew that the JFK thing and the Lee Harvey Oswald thing, the whole, ever since then, I listened to Lyndon Baines Johnson live because we had to do reports on him in school. So people say, well, they just made that video up. No, I watched it. A lot of us as baby boomers experienced these things. And you want to just throw us out, or then you want to lump us in that we're some kind of degenerate group of people? What? You talk to your grandmother that way? What? She may be a boomer. Well, these people are yapping like everybody's a stupid idiot. My grandmother's a dummy because she's in the boomer era, you know, and I just got to stop and say, wait a minute. These are truth-seeking individuals of a high value kind of, you know, a lot of people know who they are. Just shot themselves in the foot, in my opinion. You want to bring more people in? I want to bring young people in and listen to me. Listen, guys, you know, there's some things I know. There's some things I'd like to teach you now that I learned back then from some shamans and other types of people and very spiritual beings. Wouldn't you like to have this information? Nah, I'd rather play with my phone. Okay. So later on, when stuff comes up, when the baby boomers all finally die out and the next group comes in, which will be them, who are yapping about us, then the youngsters are going to clap. Then, well, I don't know what the millennials are, whatever their designation of when they were born thing, which I think it's all just a bunch of ridiculous nonsense. So how do we pull together? We stop doing what these four idiots were doing just a few minutes ago. Okay, 22 minutes ago now, but they're still yapping. But the idea that we're all bad, we got to stop this nonsense. All boomers are bad. All idiots are bad. All, you know, I've known some pure, downright stupid idiots that even these people had a value. They would say, well, Mr. Dave, what about this? You know, couldn't we do it that way? Well, I'll be dogged. You might be an idiot, but that was a good idea. Even idiots have good ideas. But these four morons that I was listening to earlier, I'm sorry. But, and they were, oh, yeah, sorry, I can vote with my thumb down. I can vote with my unsubscribe button down. I can vote with my comments and go, that's very unfair of you. I mean, if we were of a religion or of a, again, you wouldn't be well, I mean, it was like, it was like being called a racial slur, the way they were talking about boomers. I mean, that's why I'm pissed. So I'm going to end this now because I want to get ready for the other video I'm going to do later on that I've already scheduled at 10 o'clock tonight. So if you're out hanging around, I would like for you to come back by. Sorry for my tirade, but I'm not. Because that's what's wrong. They're bitching about what's wrong with the world. They're part of the problem because they're pushing those of us who have knowledge and experience out of the picture. We're all a bunch of idiots and we don't know what's going on. Will they stop and talk to any of us? No. Do they just, but there are thousands of people across the world that tune into them. All of us boomers are bad. That means every single mom and pop and grandma and granddad that may still be living that may be in this group are now somehow subjected to, we're all a bunch of dummies. My aunt, who's in her 80s, knows how to use a computer. She knew how to use a computer back before these people were even born. She worked in the banking system for 35 years and retired. Okay, so she's 80 something years old and she's a little slow to new technology, but she used it before these guys were even in kindergarten. And now, and she's older than me. She's not a boomer. She's a World War II baby, born on December 7th. But the idea, though, that we're all stupid and ignorant and don't know what we're doing, I'm sorry, but my aunt knew how to work certain things with the computer before I did because she was in the banking business. Hey, Cherry. Oh, my, I got here. Yay. Absolutely. I'm just fixing to shut this one off when I'm going to start another one. But my tirade is simple. And I think, Cherry, you may kind of sort of fit into my category here with the baby boomer thing. But it's the idea that people are picking any group out. I talk about the youngsters, but I don't say all youngsters. These guys were inferring that every single baby boomer was an idiot. And they were all like, oh, yeah, that's true. Yep, all baby. No, I realize that there are a bunch of youngins. I got a granddaughter who I would love to literally just and go, wake up. But that doesn't happen. And in reality, choking my granddaughter is not, but it's the idea that you want to shake some sense into them. She's in a women's prison now. I went to prison. Listen to your granddaddy here. Don't do this. You're going to end up in, guess where? Now you're in prison. Happy now? Tried to warn you, tried to tell you, tried to give you just, please don't do what I did in this situation. And she did it anyway. So there you go. So, but do I consider that all of the young people they're all bad? No. When I was youngster, I made bad decisions too. That's what landed me in prison. Can I talk about it to try to keep anybody else from doing the same mistake? Please. Excuse me. Listen to my story for just a second and go, listen, don't do that. Well, all my friends are, yeah, but so your friends are going to go to jail too, or whatever. But the idea that I would pick all people younger than 66, my age, are stupid, ignorant, dumb, and don't know what's going on, that would be ridiculous of me. So these four guys on this live stream on a radio program, lots of listeners, are talking about all boomers in that derogatory way. Is that fair to us boomers? Is it fair to those of us who still have a little bit of common sense? Yeah, we're old. Yeah, we've lived 65 years, for God's sakes. Yes, I paid into my retirement. I'm getting Social Security. Do I deserve it? You betcha. I paid into the system. These people who come here and get free Social Security benefits, who've never paid a dime into the system, are taking money out of my pocket. And all of my friends who are of a similar category. Oh, but we boomers, we don't know what's going on. Do you think I would like to get the money that they owe me, really? They owe me $400 a month for the last 10 years. You don't think I'd like to have that money back? Oh, well, we don't owe you $1,400 a month. We only owe you $8. And then what do? Who do you go to complain to? You don't think that it's impacted me and many my age? We've paid into the system. I paid into the system when I was 13 years old, and I had to go down and get a special working permit. At the age of 14, I was working at the 99er restaurant there just a few blocks from Busch Gardens in Tampa. Listen, I put my Social Security money in. It's been in the system. And for those people, half my age, saying, oh, well, you don't really deserve it. I've been paying in Social Security twice as long as they are old. And I don't deserve what I paid into the system. I don't deserve to be treated humanely after working 65 years of my life and paying into the system and saying, well, wait a minute, shouldn't I just deserve just a little tiny bit of modicum of respect? No, we're all a bunch of idiots. We don't know how to run computers, and we're the reason that this planet's in jeopardy. And they're the answer to the worldwide situation. Their speech about our age group is going to help the cause, to alienate all of your parents and grandparents. That's how you bring us all together, by alienating another group. Are you nuts? Are you crazy? Are you you know what I mean? Animated there, because it's like I think of in cartoon terms sometimes. I love animation, especially if it's decent animation. I'm not into anime, but anyway. But the idea is, when I think about some of this stuff, my ears want to go bzzz, my hair goes up, and my blood pressure, and my eyes bug out, because I'm like, and they're the ones that are trying to talk about, let's all come together. But leave the baby boomers out because they're a bunch of idiots. Let's all come together. But these people over there, they're a bunch of idiots, and we don't want them. Let's all come together and let's all be one planet. But those folks over there, we don't want anything to do with them. And them folks over there, the Catholics or whatever, we don't want anything to do with them. What? The new news today, as I throw this in here, the Pope has changed the Lord's Prayer for Catholics. What? The Pope recently made a statement that Jesus wasn't coming back, by the way. Yeah. So these are people we're supposed to listen to. Now, I've watched some of my previous videos. You know me in the Catholic Church. And I learned from Sister Helene back in 1970 about many things that were underhanded in the Vatican, in the church, and so forth like that. So it's like, listen here, guys. I've got inside information that is coming out now. And I try to share it with people and explain certain things to people. But the younger group, half my age folk, not my children are older than these guys, but they're talking that those of us who have had all these experiences we're just a bunch of mindless idiots. All baby boomers fit into this category. We've made a box for you guys now. And you boomers, there's no hope for you. There's where we give up on you. I've got ideas now I'm still trying to implement around here in South Georgia. I went out on the river last night, and the water is horrible. And it's because of all the chicken plants and all the chicken farms they have around here has polluted the rivers. I try to bring this up, discuss it with people. I mean, there are folks in my neighborhood that would lynch me and take me out into the swamp for the information that I have and that I know. But will anyone listen to me? I'm just an old baby boomer, don't have a clue. Now, I'm not trying to stop their business. I'm trying to enhance it. And I'm trying to stop the destruction of the ecology. But I'm just an old bastard that I'm an old hermit, lives down in the swamp. I'm an old baby boomer. His thoughts and his processes don't matter to us. He's an idiot. He's a boomer. Well, guess who started the problem? Some of my fellow boomers that I would like to grab and slap around a little bit and go, you didn't think about this? I warned you, and now we're having problems, and now you want to go, well, now there's no fix, because now that you've killed the ecology down here on the river, well, so what? Yeah, exactly. So what? You killed all the crawdads. You killed all the natural mussels in the river, but it's somehow my fault. It's somehow all these other people's fault. And actually, it was somebody who was older than a boomer. He would have been in his 70s when he passed the law. But yeah, I voted for him because I thought he would do good for the local economy. He did, and he ruined the ecosystem when he did. He was a senator from around here. I can't remember his name offhand, but anyway, from Moultrie. And he started this, brought it in, and gave us this problem. And now there are 1 million tons of chicken crap and dead chickens and feathers every single year that we have to dispose of in this county. 1 million pounds of chicken crap a year for one county. That's us. And the river and the ecosystem is suffering for it largely. I'm a baby boomer. I have information. I was on the river early this morning and I did a video about it where this a gator chased a gar and jumped into my face and landed in my kayak, scared the crap out of both of us. But the water was green. I mean, green. There's algae deep into the water. And it's like, that's not supposed to be that color. It wasn't that color a year ago, 2 years ago. Guess what? They've doubled the amount of chickens processed in our county alone within the last year and a half. And it showed up, guess where? In the ecology, in the runoff. And the EPA knew about this 10 years ago, and they haven't said a word to anyone. Studying the particles of crap in the water, haven't told anybody. Oh, but it's there if you do enough searching. Why should I have to search? Shouldn't it be in the front in the newspaper of the local papers here? EPA studies local streams for chicken poop pollution. All streams in danger. All of our watersheds here in this area in danger. Well, I'm just an old hippie hermit that's a baby boomer who don't know what he's talking about. But the ecology is already ruined. How do we go back and transplant mussels? How do we go back and transplant hundreds of miles of creeks and rivers with crawdads that used to be natural here? Oh, well, everybody needed a job. We needed to bring in more Mexicans because, you know, they do that kind of chicken killing stuff and it doesn't bother them. White people don't like to kill chickens, but they'll work on the machinery. Listen, I know folks that work out there, okay? And I hear them talking. How do we bring ourselves together? Not by alienating each other. And these guys on that show earlier alienated me. Do you think I want to listen to their show anymore? No, because they think I'm a dumbass. They think that I don't have an opinion. They think that I didn't have anything to do with trying to help out the general population of this planet. And at 67, I'm still trying to do it. And there are people like me who are still trying to speak up. But because we're baby boomers, we're stupid and dumb, we don't know what the hell we're talking about. Throw us in another group, guys. That's why the planet's in a mess. It ain't boomers. It ain't the millennials. It's not the Y2Kers. It's because of this stupid, mindless, it's their fault. It's their fault. It's their fault. It's all of our faults. If we let them do it, it's my fault too. Now, I got to say that I was outvoted, but I could still raise my hand and go, you guys didn't pay attention, and now you guys got issues. Guess what? I have a solution. There are solutions. And I'm not trying to focus with this chicken problem down here. I'm not trying to focus on stop the production of chickens. No, I'm saying let's use the poop. Let's make methane plants. Let's use this and turn it into a fertilizer that you can sell to people and make more money instead of trying to get rid of crap that is environmentally dangerous and is already proven in the rivers to be very toxic to the fish and in the environment. I'm just a boomer. I'm just an idiot. I have no opinion. My opinion doesn't count because I can't run a computer. I don't know what's going on, and it's all my fault. Well, thank you. I needed that as a pick-me-up for today. You know what I mean? Cherry, good to see you. I'm only 50, not a boomer. I'm not an Xer. My gen had no name, but see, they're including you in this, Max, as sort of a boomer-esque kind of thing. That's what that was my take on this. My daughter's almost 50, so it's like, hey, wait a minute, we got to talk about this. Yeah, I miss crawdads, true. Uh, you want help, but they don't want to hear it. Exactly. Responsible, sustainable farming. Nobody cares till it's at their back door. And literally, these farmers around here, what were they thinking? And I'm going to wrap this up with this final thought with you, Cherry. And thank you all who stopped by. The local farmer that I know, a friend of mine, lives on their property. There's about an acre or so, and farmland all around it, typical around here, many places. And so she came over to my house a couple of months ago. She goes, they just dumped the chicken poop on the fields, and they put it under sheds and let it dry. And then when they get too much of it, they scoop it up and put it into sort of like a fertilizer spreader. And then they drive around their farm and spread it out. Tons of chicken poop they just spread on the ground. Now, the theory was, when this first was introduced, that they would then go back and turn it into the soil. But see, that costs money. And if they're not ready to turn the soil yet, then they just dump it. So then it goes several months without them tilling the dirt in. So, but they every month they've got more chicken poo, because they've got one a month, more or less, that they're emptying out one of their barns. So once a month they've got 4 tons of poop, roughly. I'm sorry, it'd be 4,000 pounds, 2 tons, 1.5 tons to 2 tons of poop out of one. And these chicken houses are huge. And so they go in, scoop them out, pile it up. And so that pile, then the pile they piled up before that, then that's the one they take out and spread over the field. So it's just never ending. We push the poop over, and then we take the drier stuff and put it on the property. But now the farmers are themselves, who have chicken houses, they've got so much poop that it's piling up in the fields. And they're having a problem getting rid of it. Other farmers in their area are like, no, we've already got enough crap on our fields. We don't want you to come. So now they're stuck with tons of poop on a farm that was not intended for that. And they can't grow crops if they're dumping poop all the time. And if they're dumping poop all the time, won't that affect the crop? I mean, and then when it's been so dry here, I go outside and there's this fertilizer smell in the air. Well, it's not fertilizer because they're fertilizing. There's no water down here. We haven't had any rain. What it is, it's the dried poop that has literally become airborne. It has so dried out. When you got 101 and 100-degree temperatures back to back 2 days in a row, plus all the 90s we've had for the last 2 weeks, with absolutely no rainfall for the last 2 months, this stuff gets airborne. And we can smell it. I'm ingesting the chicken poop from farms that are 1.5 miles away. I drive into town. If my window's down, chicken poop smell. It's everywhere. They turned South Georgia into a septic tank that stinks. I digress. But it's all of us boomers' fault. Just saying. And it's not. It's our fault collectively, because we keep arguing amongst ourselves. These guys, prime example. And I used to be very big fans of theirs until tonight. And it's like, sorry guys, you're out of here. You talk about an entire subset group of people, millions, maybe even 1 billion of us, with 7 billion on the planet. It wouldn't be hard for 1 billion of us to have been born within, like 1946 and 60 or something, that whatever. But the idea, though, that this whole subset of us are stupid and ignorant shows how narrow-minded they are when they're trying to promote broad-mindedness. It's an oxymoron. Well, I can talk about a group but my thing is, I wish that they would understand what they're doing. I wish that these guys, I would love to like rattle off their names, but I'm not going to do it. But I would love for these guys to like, do you know what you just did? Do you care what you just did? Do you know how many millions of people you have potentially pissed off by your mouthing? Do you know? Nope, because they don't care, because they're right. And I gotta say, they have gotten to the point where in listening to these guys, they are so right about what they do, they have become very narcissistic about it. Well, we know this because we've been in the business for 5 years now. And, we've learned this, this, and this, and that makes us better than the rest of these guys. If you have to make that statement, you ain't learned shit in my book. I mean, just saying, I'm always learning. I will share things with you, and I'll say, as far as I know, this is true and is correct, and do your own homework. Follow up on something. But hey, you want to see whether or not the chicken poo's got anything to do with the river? Come. I got 3 kayaks and a canoe. Be glad to take you. You want to see the piles of garbage in the middle of the swamp that have resident animals that live in these piles of plastic and trash and stuff? I'll be glad to take you. Oh, well, they don't really exist. That's just your imagination. No, it's not. You want to come? No? Well, then shut up. You want to criticize me because I talk about it. I've got pictures of some of this stuff. I've shared the experience, but I don't make it. Never mind. I understand. We gotta come together, which is what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to take a break now, come back at 10 o'clock, and I'm going to do a live stream for at least an hour. This one, I had not planned on doing this at all, my friends. Cherry, Max Vision, 40% of all food, yes, is just wasted. And here's the thing: I've worked on farms around here for over the years, and you go out and pick squash. If squash has got a little bruise on it, it goes over here. 50% of the food is wasted before it ever gets to the supermarket because it doesn't qualify as a number 1 or a number 2. They don't want to sell something that has a bruise on it. So it's like, it's got a bruise. You know how easy it is to bruise a piece of squash or something like that, you know how easy it is to make this thing go like that. But there's at least a 30 to 50, depending on the crop, that never gets to the truck to go to market because it's got a bruise, or there's a tiny little wormhole in it. Ain't no worm in it. It's just where a worm chewed on it. Doesn't matter. Can't go. Does that make the squash bad? No, they feed it to the hogs and the cows and the chickens, and it gets recycled in other ways. But I used to work at some of these places, and I'm like, can I take this home? Well, yeah, we're just going to feed it to the hogs. So I would go home and somebody'd say, well, what's that? And I'd say, well, you're eating hog food. What? Well, yeah, because they were going to throw it away because it had this little speck on it. It's ridiculous. People are starving because it doesn't look perfect. I don't care if it's got a bruise on it. Fine. Is it still good? Yep. Just got a bruise. Oh, it's not pretty enough. So, all of this bullshit, I don't know how else to put it, but if it doesn't look pretty, then it's not good enough to eat. That little bruise, it got bumped on the way to the truck. Can't sell it. Ridiculous. My friends, I love you. I'm going to go take a coffee break and make me a sandwich and prepare for the topic that I have at 10 o'clock tonight. And right now I'm like, I can't even remember what it was. It's about spirituality. And yeah. The revolution of sanity. And if anything, this little video right now ties into exactly what I wanted to talk about. I made the title of that video, The Revolution of Sanity, before I was listening to these guys earlier and I got on this tirade. But it actually ties in because what these guys are promoting is insanity. I'm sorry, you're going to block out an entire group of people with wisdom and knowledge and stuff, and you're going to criticize every damn thing. Well, no, I know you're a boomer, but you don't count. But what about the people you don't know? Well, I don't know. I just spoke to the whole group and they're all a bunch of idiots. Right. So what if there are people in that group that you just yapped about that are cool folk like me? I'm just saying that from their point of view. Well, you're cool, Mr. Dave, but everybody else is dumb. Are they? Well, that's the same thing as saying, well, that guy's got black skin and he did something bad, so all black people are bad. All Chinese people are all Mexicans or all Italians or all pick a group. Canadians. Oh, that's insanity. And my topic that I did before I did this video is the revolution to sanity. Thumbs up. You don't watch my, I don't want my life controlled anymore. Take more responsibility. Absolutely. I think people need to be a family and cook, but a community kitchen to share is good too. Yep, absolutely. I agree. Good looking vegetables are more important than taste and nutrients. Listen, if people knew that they pick most tomatoes green and that they put them in a freezer and store them at like 35 degrees, and then they take them out and they inject them with like this pectin. It's sort of like a pectin is in apples and things, but you can take like a rotten apple and put it in a room and it'll whatever is in it will help to mature tomatoes. So when you get a tomato, I know because I worked on a farm for 2 years that we did tomatoes. We picked them when they're just a little bit of color on them, little tiny bit, not perfectly green. But then they went in. Why? Because if they were any more, they'd get mush, smashed, and whatever. So then they go into crates. They go into coolers, damn near frozen, and then brought out when they're needed. So they put them into mildly refrigerated trucks so that they ripen on the way. So you look at this beautiful tomato in the store. Ooh, look how nice and fresh it is. Probably 6 months old. It's been in a freezer. It's not fresh. If you didn't go to the farmer's market and even our local farmer's market, I found out, I was like, where are you getting all these fresh tomatoes? They're in the cooler. And I was like, what? But it's tomato season. I know, but these were from last season. You got tomatoes from last season, I'm selling them this spring as fresh tomatoes? Yep. And that's at the farmer's market. Now, not all farmers are like that, but this is how do you think we can have tomatoes available for people all the time? We have to cool them down. We have to keep them from developing, and then we freshen them out, and they ripen when we put them out Are you crazy? Nope, that's the truth. So people who think they're getting fresh vegetables, think again. If I had a squash for 3 days, it's got to go straight to a cooler. They have to chill it to stop it. So any nutrients and everything is so they refrigerate, they put it into suspended animation until they can get it to the store. Oh, okay. It's fresh. Really? Just saying. All right, my friends, let me go get ready for this. Roundup is mainly used on grains and wheat. Oh, Max, I disagree. Oh, I wholeheartedly disagree. Around here, they use it on everything. Roundup is used in gardens. Roundup's used along fence lines. Roundup is used in cotton, potatoes, peanuts, you name it. If it goes in a field, they put Roundup in the field. So it ain't just grains or this and that. Oh, Max. Oh, no. Oh, soybean. People think they're getting soybean. Listen, I had two farmers that I worked for a couple of years back, and one of the, well, actually both of them grew soybean. But if cockleburrs or something come up in the field, then you have to go out there and physically pull them up, because when you run the combine through the field, if you get any cockleburrs or anything in it, the price of your soybeans goes down because there is trash in it. So they grade every bit that comes through. They take samples out of what you take to the market. Yes, ew. But so they take samples. So as they're dumping out the soybean from a big truck, which I drove there, and they're taking samples. They take a sample. They take a sample. Then they judge them. And if there's too many cockleburrs or too many pieces of whatever, you get graded accordingly because the total weight of the soybean drops. So they don't drop the price of the soybean. They drop there's too much garbage. It's not clean. To the point, though, so the farmers use Roundup to keep the cockleburrs and other things out of their soybean fields, so that when they go through the fields, they get a better price for their tonnage. Oh, no, they don't. Oh, yes. Oh, hell yeah, they do. Oh, yes, sir. And people go, oh, but they only use it on. So all these people who are doing soy milk and soy this and soy that, soy burgers, soy this, and they say, ooh, to eat an animal is bad. He's got somebody injected him with a hormone. Do you honestly know what goes in that field that grew that crop? No. But you are assuming it's safe because it made it this far. It was grown in Roundup. They sprayed it with pesticides to keep any bugs off of the beans. They did this, they did that. They put stuff in the ground, and oh, I'm getting a natural soybean. Look how sweet I am. I'm drinking soy milk. Oh, man. It's so healthy for me. Okay. I need to do a separate video on that. My problem is that, see, I get started, now it's an hour, and it was only going to be 20 minutes, and I still haven't shut up yet. So I got to learn how to shut up at the end of a segment. All right, I got some Georgia peaches and Save the Pits. Yeah, now some Georgia peaches, we've got a big bunch of peaches just east of me, near Hayhira, Barney, and over in there. They're the first peaches, Morven. They're the first peaches that come in because they're smaller peaches. Now, right now, up around Fort Valley and Middle Georgia, they've got peaches that are this big. They're bigger than a softball and sweet. But if you don't think them folks don't spray that stuff, you got another thing coming. Just saying. People say, "Woo, this is all fresh," and it. No, they got to pack peaches the same way. They got to get them before they're ripe, because you can't ship a ripe peach. You got to get them before they get ripe. So they go into the cooler, and these farms have great big huge coolers. When they go around and pick them, they put them right in the cooler. They come off of the tree and go right in the cooler to stop them from getting any more ripe until they ship them. So you think you're getting a fresh peach? Not unless you went out and picked it off the tree. Not unless you knew the guy that picked it. And if you get a batch of peaches and there are no dents in them, there's no, oh, look how pretty these are, don't buy them. They just come out of the refrigerator. If you buy some peaches that got a bruise or two on them and they're like a little overripe, take them, because those are probably better than any other peach that you'll get. Get the ones with a bruise on them, because they're actually ripe. They were probably shipped while they were ripe. Somebody probably picked them and brought them in. That's why they're bruised. Take the bruised ones. You're going to get a better product. I swear to you. My grandparents grew peaches from pits. Yes. It depends, but yes, absolutely. I've had peach trees here, but bugs got them and killed them. So I don't have any local peaches right now. But anyway, Marie, Cherry, Max Vision, blessings to you guys. I love you all. I'm going to stop this now, but I'll be back at 10. And so be gracious, be thankful for what we do have. And for those of us who, Max, if you're just in your 50s, they're still considering you one of us boomers. Trust me. because they're only 35 and 40, and anybody older than that fits that boomer crowd. It's a shame, because I really thought these guys had something going for them. I really thought these guys were like, going to open up and all people are accepted and we're all trying to learn to get together, and then to badmouth for 10, 15 minutes boomers. Nah, I'm sorry. I lost my respect for those guys big time, because I've just been yapping about it for the last hour. That's how bad it pissed me off. So no, I won't give their names. But they do a live stream on Saturdays and Sundays, and there are 2 or 3 or 4 of them, and you can find them on YouTube. Just look for live streams. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. I love you all. Keep praying, keep hoping, and keep your eyes open. It might be a 13-year-old girl that's got wisdom of the ages. I've met some folks like that. There are people who are 85 years old that have got wisdom of the ancients. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's how you're connected to the universe. And we've got to stop this. Well, you're black. You can't know what us white people think. Well, I'm a white person, so I don't know what a black person thinks. We got to stop this crap. Let's talk to each other. Let's bring the fact that we're all human beings, well, many of us at least on this planet, and let's bring together and sing in silent harmony, the world is a better place, etc. Blessings until next time. I hope to see you now it's only 30 minutes or so. So see on the upside, downside, flip side. See you in the cartoons. See you in the funny papers, as the old timers say.